Every city has a place people avoid after dark, a place where the streetlights flicker for no reason, where stray dogs refuse to go, where even the wind seems to hold its breath. For Eastwood Town, that place was Block 17, an abandoned government building that once held hundreds of employees, files, and secrets. It had been shut down after a mysterious fire 10 years ago. No one knew how the fire started or why only one floor burned while the others remained untouched. Most people stayed away, except one man. His name was Ibrahim, a night watchman desperate for work. He was 45, quiet, and tired of jumping from job to job. When the security agency offered him double pay for guarding a closed building, he didn't even ask questions. All he needed was money. But on his first day, when he arrived at Block 17, something felt wrong immediately. The air smelled of wet concrete and burnt dust. The tall building stood like a giant skeleton. The long, dark windows reflected nothing, no sky, no clouds, only emptiness. A thin old security supervisor, Mr. Harris, handed him the keys. "Don't wander too much," he said quietly. "Stick to your rounds. If you hear anything, ignore it." Ibrahim frowned. "What do you mean, ignore it?" But the supervisor was already walking away. The first night, the sound. As night sank in, Ibrahim roamed the ground floor with his flashlight sweeping across the empty hall. The building groaned with old age, metal expanding and wood creaking. Nothing unusual, until he reached the end of the corridor. A sound echoed. Tap, tap, tap. Like footsteps from above. Ibrahim sighed. Probably a rat, he told himself. But the sound wasn't fast or random like an animal. It was slow, steady, human. Tap, tap, tap. He checked his watch. 2:14 a.m. He shook his head and went back to his desk, pretending he heard nothing. But the tapping didn't stop. It continued for hours, moving from the second floor to the fourth, then suddenly to the burned fifth floor. He clenched his fists. "This building is playing tricks on me," he muttered. Yet deep inside, he knew the footsteps were real. The second night, the elevator. The next night, the air inside the building felt colder. Ibrahim zipped up his jacket as he headed toward the security office. The elevator stood silently at the end of the hall, dead, unusable, its buttons dusty. He glanced at it. The doors were slightly open. That wasn't the case yesterday. He walked over, shining his flashlight into the crack. Nothing. Just darkness. He pushed the doors. They slid open with a rusty scream. Inside the elevator, something was drawn on the back wall, a message written in black charcoal. "Floor 5 isn't empty." Ibrahim's blood froze. "Who wrote this?" he whispered. The elevator suddenly shook, once, violently. He stumbled backward as the doors slammed shut on their own. The dead buttons lit up. First the number 5, then the red arrow pointing up. The elevator began moving, but there was no power in the building. He watched the numbers rising through the small display. 2, 3, 4. When it reached 5, the elevator stopped. The doors stayed closed. Then, bang, something slammed against the inside of the elevator doors so hard they rattled. Bang, bang, bang. Ibrahim ran. He didn't stop until he reached his desk, panting, sweat dripping down his forehead. "Tomorrow, I'm quitting," he said softly. But money has a strange grip on desperate men. When morning came, he stayed silent and returned again for the third night. The third night, the face. It was raining heavily when Ibrahim started his shift. Thunder echoed across the empty streets. Inside the building, leaks dripped from the ceiling, forming muddy puddles. At around 1:30 a.m., the tapping returned. But this time, it wasn't footsteps. It was nails, scratching. Skrrr, skrr, skrr. Ibrahim followed the sound to the staircase. The scratching seemed to come from above, again, the 5th floor. The burned floor. His heart pounded, but he forced himself to climb. The 4th floor was silent. Cold air brushed past him as if someone had run by. He reached the 5th floor door. The metal was blackened, paint melted and bubbled. He pushed it open. The moment he stepped inside, the temperature dropped so suddenly he could see his breath. The hallway was pitch dark except for the faint red glow of the exit sign. He lifted his flashlight. The beam shook. Every wall was covered in scratch marks. Deep ones. Fresh ones. I should leave, he whispered. He turned around. A face was inches behind him. A woman. Burned. Skin cracked. Eyes black and hollow. Her head was tilted unnaturally, her neck twisted. She whispered with a voice like dry leaves. "Why are you here?" Ibrahim's scream echoed through the entire floor. He sprinted down the stairs, skipping steps, nearly falling. He didn't stop running until he reached outside, gasping for breath under the rain. He waited until sunrise before returning to get his things. The truth. When he came back in daylight, Mr. Harris, the old supervisor, was waiting with a grim expression. "You saw her, didn't you?" Harris asked quietly. Ibrahim froze. "You knew?" Harris nodded slowly. "She died in the fire. A clerk on the 5th floor. They never recovered her body. She was trapped alone." He looked at the building. "She never left." Ibrahim swallowed hard. "Then why hire me?" Harris sighed. "We need someone here. Not to guard the building, but to watch her. To keep her calm. If no watchman stays." He paused. "She leaves the building." Ibrahim felt a chill crawl up his spine. "I'm not going back in there," he said firmly. Harris nodded. "No one ever does. But someone new will come. Someone desperate. Like you." He placed the keys in his pocket and walked away. Ibrahim stared at the building one last time. Inside the 5th floor window, a dark shape stood watching him. Not moving, not blinking, just watching. He left Eastwood Town that very evening. The final night, weeks later, a new watchman arrived, young, cheerful, unaware. He chatted with Mr. Harris outside before beginning his first shift. Ibrahim, who was passing by on a bus, saw this from the window. He pulled the stop cord and ran off. "Wait," he yelled, running toward the building. But the bus noise drowned him out. The new watchman entered Block 17 with a smile. The heavy door closed behind him. From the 5th floor, a whisper echoed through the silent building. "Another one." If you're new to the channel and enjoy horror stories, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friends for more terrifying tales.